stage Jan-Cedric Mangi, who will share us his experience about managing an esports team, who is the head of esports for Gamers Origin.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. So yes, I'm Jan-Cedric Mangi. I'm coming from Paris right now, and I will introduce you to how I came here, and how I came to become what I'm doing right now. Okay. So I'm like the head of esports of Gamers Origin. So basically, my job is going to be presented a bit later. Who is doing the... Oh, okay, that's me. Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry about that. Okay, good. So yeah, so I'm 35 years old. I've been in esports for like nearly 15 years. I started as a player, like a lot of people. I've been part of the Millennium esports team. For some of you may know it. It's now not a team anymore. It's just a website, but it used to be a team back in 2006-07. Until 2012. And I also co-founded the Meltdown esports bars. There was one in Budapest, actually. So that's why this city is one of my favorites. So Gamers Origin is one of the top esports teams in France. We are competing in 8 different games at an international level. Hearthstone, Fortnite, League of Legends. In League of Legends, we have actually 2 players that are coming from Budapest, from Hungary, Kubu and Blozor, that you may know. Street Fighter 5, StarCraft 2, Soul Calibur 6, Trackmania, which I don't think is so famous around here. It's a racing game, and Apex Legends. Okay, wait. So I'm gonna introduce you the training center that those players are playing in right now. So it's a 2-minute video. And the official opening of this training center was just last night, actually. Let's go. So yeah, so we just announced this training facility 2 days ago. I think it was Tuesday. We just opened it last night officially, and so that's where I work and where all my players are training on a daily basis. Me as a head of esports, my job is to take care of the recruitment of the players through the scouting and through the contracts. I mean, taking care of the contracts and everything. In order to be able to do that, I have to keep track of everything that's happening in the esports field. So every single game we are competing in, and also the other esports fields to see where we could actually enter in the next game. So that's like more or less the global esports strategy of the company. Should we go on Counter-Strike next time? Should we go on Rocket League? You know, it's always like what kind of players can you find, at what price, when? And obviously, I take care of the management of the teams. So every single team has a manager, and I have to take care of that. The managers are doing their job well. On the business point of view, so in order to get there, I mean, I've worked a long time in esports, and I've built Meltdown from the ground up. It took a lot of time and a lot of energy, and at the time we didn't have any money, so we had to start from a business perspective that you make €1, you earn €2 in order to get more and more bars, and then I think after 3 years we had 26 bars everywhere in Europe and actually in the US and Canada. So with this money, I sold Meltdown, and then I could invest a bit more in other fields. And now I've been investing in esports mainly. And so I came to Gamers Origin to help them develop their business. At the time when I arrived 4 years ago, Gamers Origin was only a streaming, it was a streaming company, and we had to develop, we wanted to develop in the esports field a bit more, because that's always been what I targeted. So at the beginning we started with one game, which was Hearthstone. We were streaming Hearthstone, so we started to compete at the highest level. I don't know if you guys are following a bit the Hearthstone team, but we were having Purple, which was NA champ for quite a while. And then from this we could grow to more games. We entered the Overwatch area as soon as the game was released. We finished, I think our best result was to be top 5 in Europe just before the Overwatch League was released. And as the more you get teams, the more results you get, then the more you can hire new players. You can convince them to join your company, which is always very hard in the beginning when you're an emerging team. People won't trust you with their careers, so it's kind of complicated to convince them. But the more you're going to start new games, new teams, then you can convince new players. So the business aspect of Gamers Origin. So basically, how do we make money? Like some of you may know, but there's not, at the moment, there's not so many ways for teams to make money. The main way is always the sponsorships. So obviously you know what it means. You just put a logo on the jersey of your players, but most of the time, what we do now is just is accompany them on their communication, on everything they do. We help our partners to conquer the heart of the gamers. So we just don't put a logo on our jersey, which is kind of what teams have been doing for a while. But we help them. We go with them in their communication. We help them target our audience. And now, because of these sponsorships and everything that we could do around the teams, we managed to create different fields of expertise. Basically, right now we are helping, for example, Société Générale, which is a French bank, is our main sponsor. We are helping them. We just announced this week that we launch a new credit card. So it's only available in France, but basically, MasterCard and Société Générale are partnering with the World's Finals in France, and we are launching a credit card in order for players to get, for example, they can have coaching sessions with our players. So the people that buy the credit card, that use the credit card, they can be picked to play with our players. They can come to our training center. They have different stuff like this that is, making the credit card appealing to gamers, and therefore the bank is having new clients that they wouldn't have had even if they wouldn't have come. If we wouldn't be accompanying them. The management aspects of the company are quite my daily life. So I don't know if so many of you are acquainted to how it is to manage a team, but we have players that are from. The youngest in our team, I think, is 15. The oldest one is 33, but is kind of a UFO in the esports field. But most of them are in between 15 and 22. And taking care of 15 to 22-year-old players is kind of a day-to-day job. Actually, the fact that I'm not there right now is having my assistant having a hard time. But basically, what we do is making them come to the office. We call this the office, but it's actually the training center. We have them come there around noon, which is their waking time. They have a meal prepared for them by a chef. This meal is prepared according to the nutrition, we have a nutritionist that is working with us. So she's, talking with the chefs, telling him this day you can do that. And so they know at the beginning of the week where they are going to eat every day. So they come for lunch, then they train like on their own. Then there is official training sessions. Usually, depending of the games, it starts between 3 and 5. Then they train for the whole evening, and then after that, as you can see in the video, they can go to the gym, which is in the second basement of our offices. Or they can just go chill. We are actually, I didn't say that, I think, but we are located in the center of Paris. So basically, they can go anywhere they want in Paris to go to a cinema or a theater or whatever. And then they go back home because we rent flats for them. So they don't live like in a gaming house, which was kind of the way things were done in esports until now. But they live in flats that we rent for them, not far away from the office, like 10 minutes by walking. And so yeah, they live like a normal life. I would call this a more normal life, like you guys, waking up, going to the office, coming back home, having your life, your normal life. You're not like 24/7 in playing and stuck with the players that you're playing with. So I already covered the development of the company somehow, but yeah. So basically, we started from streaming, then we went into organizing events around the streaming, and then we developed more into the esports field, one game at a time. As for our funding, so like when we were back 4 years ago, we had a small fundraising of €100,000 just to help us have new offices and streaming equipment. Then we did a new fundraising, which was 1 year later, of €500,000, which helped us hire new teams, because that's when we did the transition between streaming and team management. So with this €500,000, we got six different games, I think. And from these 6 different games, we got really good results. Actually, we hired Blorzo at the time. So I was saying Blorzo is a Hungarian player. We hired him back in January 2017. He joined the team with this league. We created a League of Legends team around him and 4 other players. And with this team, we ended up #1 in France for 2 years. So 2017 and 2018, we won every single LAN. We were top 1 team League of Legends in France. And with these results and other results that we had with other games, we managed to convince investors to invest €3 million in our company back in December 2018. And that's with this money we created this center. So the whole fundraising was centered around building this facility. And we had this whole plan of making life of players less like no-lifers and more like esport athletes. So right now we are developing this company in a way that we really think should be the way that every single esport team should go, which is players are not gamers, they are actually athletes. Professional players are athletes, and we want them to have an athlete life, so like healthy, not playing 24/7, not eating whatever they want, just having someone. They have in our facilities, we have like an osteopath that you could see, so he's taking care of their health. He's following their progress, whether it is with problems with the hands, with the shoulders, everything. So he's following week after week if they have problems with their health. We have a sports coach that is helping them, manage how they are going to use the gym downstairs, because they usually don't know how to use the equipment and how to make it like profitable for them. And we also have like a mental coach to help them, like help the teams stick together, not have problems with too much like pressure and stuff, or what can happen when you go to competitions. So yeah, so basically that's what we really want to do now from now into for the future with this training center, is create athletes, make players. They come, they are 16, 17, 18. Maybe they didn't have a previous team. Maybe they was just living at their parents' place, which is happening with Fortnite, for example. We have Fortnite players. They were 16. They just became really rich from one day to another, very successful, but they were never part of any esports team. So we make them come and we make them have a proper athlete life. And other players, they've been in different teams before, and they can have like bad habits from what they were doing, how they were living in these teams. So we're trying to correct these bad habits and make them understand that only playing the game is not the right way to. I mean, that's not the way we think that is going to be the way they're going to succeed. And we want to prove by our results that, by our international results, that this is a way that works. Actually, we are not the first ones to do that. You may have heard of the refresh. I think they call this the refresh method, which is Astralis and the refresh company. They are doing this with Origin and Astralis back in Denmark, and it's taken care of by. I mean, they were inventing it and making it in the same way, and we are just kind of importing it in France and trying to make it a bit more modern, because we show more about our facilities and what we do, and we really want people to see what we do and see how we do it, in order for other companies to be inspired by it, and maybe hope that in the future players can be considered as athletes. So, as you could maybe hear it, I'm less a talker than actually a passionate gamer, passionate esport entrepreneur. And I really live this passion every day. And I mean, if any one of you would like to talk about how to build a team, I'm available in the next hours. And so, just thank you very much for having me. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.